Welcome back. I'm reviewing yet another match I played from the recent Plat at Games tournament I played in, and I've showed you some games from round 1 and 2 of that tournament, and now I've advanced to round 3, so now I'm going to show you a game from that round, which I'm playing Tundra Orcs versus Eldritch Noodles, who's playing as the Polar Dwarves. I knew going into this tournament there was going to be a ton of Polar Dwarves players, considering how strong that faction is. So a big part of the reason why I put Tundra Orcs on my team is because I really like their tool set against the Polar Dwarves. I feel like they have some of the better chances at beating them. And so yeah, in this match, I'm gonna hopefully go over some of those, some of the general concepts of how to approach the Polar Dwarves matchup and how to approach beating them. All right, I start by advancing up the board with my summoner. Put some gates down. I was happy to have some starting gates here. Grognak with some early gates is probably Grognak at his strongest. Like that's where Tundra Orcs are really the scariest. So this is a pretty common gate placement for me on the offense. Like I really like having the gate on the left, of course, to support just the advance forward, and then the gate on the right is just to support the right side of the board if the attack goes there. Now, I like to kind of place Grognak in between gates, so he's kind of fighting in between, and so I feel like that's a pretty strong position for him to be in. And yeah, no, sometimes like putting a gate in front of Grognak kind of slows his advance forward, so it's kind of good to have them on the left and right of him, I feel like. Now, I guess you could argue that the gate on the right side of the board is I maybe could hold on to it for later and start advancing further up the board and put a gate even further up in the future. But yeah, I don't know. Against Polar Dwarves, I feel like the fight is so fierce that I'm not gonna really have time to do that, and so I just need to put it down and just start fighting really fast. Okay, get some decent hits in on the Frost Mage. And I'm lucky to have Frenzy activate. And even get the kill. So yeah, that's a pretty good start. The only thing I don't really like is that I drew 3 Shamans. You know, Shamans I consider to be one of the best commons on this team. So I'd rather have drawn something else at the beginning that I'd feel better about discarding. But I think I ended up actually discarding all 3 of these Shamans just because, to me, like the most important thing in this matchup is that I get up to 5 magic really quickly so I can get a champion on the board. So yeah, I think I just discarded everything just to get a champion. I think that's just most important, and I just don't think about much else and just do it. And the reason I want to get the champion out early is because I just want to be applying maximum pressure as early as possible. Okay, my opponent puts a Frost Mage in a very annoying position for me, actually. This is kind of what I was afraid of, is that he's going to block the front of my left gate there. And yeah, when this happens, like, so the way I think of this position is that, like, the most important thing for me to do right now is to get rid of that Frost Mage. Like, it's basically I need to take back control of the front of this gate, and that's kind of my primary goal. Like, if I try to fight on the right side of the board and try to go after that Ice Golem, he's just going to, like, hit me from the left as I attack from the right, and like I'm just going into like his danger zone basically. So I'm just slowly gonna be trying to take control of the left first before I advance further up, and I don't want to overextend basically. All right, my first goal of getting a champion out early has been accomplished here. I got Shonk on the board, and I put Shonk on the flank. Now, I don't really love to put Shonk on the flank. I really prefer him to be in the center of the board, but I just kind of had to improvise there. I feel like the putting Shonk in the center and then like the commons more to the flanks is usually better, but you work with what you got. Okay, my opponent is kind of blocking my gate now with his gate. That's pretty much that's gonna kill my offense. I feel like that's just any offensive momentum I could get, like that just kills it right away. I feel like, so that's a pretty good move. So yeah, I feel like he's just trying to like not let me run over him. He's doing a pretty good job of that. Alright, I try to keep my summoner active in this fight, even though Ice Ram's always a threat. Like, I feel like you pretty much have to keep Grognak active. But, you know, I try to put him more, like, to the second line of defense, so he's not going to be punished as hard by some Ice Ram combo. But yeah, I think it's important to keep him active. Alright, we killed the big bear. Reroll. Get the frenzy. Even get another frenzy. I'm pretty lucky on these frenzy rolls this game. Okay, now I'm just looking at the discard. I'm pretty sure I discarded Brutal Force because I mean, a lot of times if you have 3 event cards, you got to think of discarding something. I mean, you can't really. It's pretty unlikely that you're going to draw a decent hand after if you have 3 event cards to begin with. So I'm going to discard Brutal Force here. 4 Glory is just kind of too important to let go, especially in this matchup. 4 Glory is going to be super important at like taking out ice golems. Yeah, like if you, I mean, if you don't discard something, like you're pretty I mean, if you don't draw a common, it could be kind of game changing if you just lose your momentum here. Okay, now my opponent suddenly went from having kind of an awkward looking position now to having a pretty nice looking position. That's the power of the Polar Dwarves. Like, yeah, it just looks like a pretty strong position now. I get a good use of freeze here, freezing the ice golem. Making sure like he doesn't have any crazy ice ram tricks. It's getting more and more likely that he has an ice ram now that as the match progresses. But you'll notice once again I focus my attack on the left side of the board, like in front of my frontmost gate. I feel like if you attack on the right, like you're overextending because they'll be able to kind of attack you from both fronts, from the left and the right. So I'm just trying to slowly attack from the left side and you know, keep all my forces as close together, keep my summoner as close to my champion as possible, so they're supporting each other. So that's kind of the ideas behind why I position my units like this. And I'm remembering this is also like a pretty devastating freeze on that ice golem because he can't really summon anything now since I just took down his gate. So like he can only summon really on the far right side of the board away from the action. So yeah, he can't even really attack me with Savara. Like it's too risky because I could have, you know, Brutal Force combo, Brutal Force Primal Fury combo and just end his life. So I feel like, yeah, he just kind of just got to run away now. Okay, now he's forced to kind of make a nothing move. Took a guaranteed damage on his summoner. I think maybe he just forgot that he could have attacked my gate with his Frost Mage there. A slight mistake to avoid that inaction damage. Yeah, I mean, every HP on your summoner could count in the end game. I guess we'll see if that matters or not in the end, but... Alright, I wanted to talk about the targets that I'm picking here. Like, I'm targeting the Parapet and the Ice Golem. Like, I feel like those are generally the 2 primary targets against Polar Dwarves. And that's kind of the key to taking them out is a lot of times, like, you can ignore the Frost Mage and you could go after the Ice Golem or Parapets instead. Take those out first. Because, like, even in some cases, like here, like, the Frost Mage is going to kind of congest their position a bit and make it a little harder for their Ice Ram combos to be really efficient. So, yeah, I'd rather not take out the Frost Mages a lot of times because, like, you kill the Frost Mage and, like, sometimes they're just in really good position to Ice Ram you then. Alright, Polar Dwarves, get out. Jarmoon, a very good champion. When Jarmoon gets started, yeah, it can be really difficult to stop him. So yeah, he's getting some boosts now. And putting his Frost Mage in a position where I just can no longer avoid them. So yeah, really good position on the Frost Mage, of course. But now my goal, I'm gonna use for glory to take out this Ice Golem. Ice Golems are just too important. We got to take one out while we can. Now I guess it's a bit risky to use for glory with this full health Smasher. I just talked about that in my last video. I was calculating there's like something like a 12%, about a 12% chance of the Smasher doing damage to himself or killing himself with a reroll. But I guess, you know, against Polar Dwarves, I'm willing to take risks like that. Like, you kind of have to. Yeah, 12% is not too bad. Get a great roll with the Smasher. No self-harm. Get the Ice Column kill like I wanted to. Okay, now, yeah, I think now he responds with a... He has a good response here. Able to make good use of this Jarmoon ability, the ice shards, and set up a kill on my Smasher here, which hurts pretty bad. Alright, once again, another situation of using a Smasher with full health for glory. I mean, I guess it's actually proven to be very useful for me. Like, okay, 4 hits, takes no damage to himself. So yeah, I mean, Smasher with full health Smasher with 4 glory has kind of saved me this game twice now. So yeah, I think maybe I underestimated it before. I thought it was too risky, but now, yeah, it's proven to be very useful for me here these past 2 games. And now that we have the Ice Golems on the board all gone, I mean, my opponent only has 2 magic, so he can only put 1 Ice Golem out. And I mean, I feel like his deck has a lot of Ice Golems, a lot of Ice Rams, Glacial Shifts. We haven't seen, you know, those events. We haven't seen too many Ice Golems come out. So I was feeling pretty good at this point. And then I make a mistake here, and I attack this bear with Shonk. I do 0 damage, so I feel like that pretty much gave him an opportunity that I shouldn't have given him. Like, I should have just attacked with the Charger, and the Charger suiciding is actually not that bad. It actually might be preferable, because there's not going to be too many opportunities for me to even attack with the Charger anytime soon, because most of my units are going to have like 3 attack plus. So I think that was just a huge mistake, and I kind of let him back into the game here when I shouldn't have. Okay, yeah, he punishes my Smasher pretty hard with that mistake. So yeah, now his bear did one trample damage, and now he's gonna do the 3 guaranteed 3+ melee. Whereas maybe the Smasher would have lived if that hadn't have happened. And even he killed my Charger for some extra magic. So yeah, that things went a little bit wrong here. Okay, I gotta hide my summoner a bit. Now, actually, here you get to see the usefulness of the Smasher in this matchup, especially to go up against these Ice Golems. They're really good at taking out the Ice Golems, and I guess the one thing I'm happy about here is that if I take this Ice Golem out, there's just becoming less and less of them, so that means the Ice Ram Glacial Shift combos becoming weaker over time. And Shonk is in a very nice position now. This is really where I want him, near the front, kind of keeping my more important commons a little bit behind him to preserve their life, to extend their life, I guess you could say. Yeah, this is why Shonk is so great. Like, they can't just ignore him. They're gonna have to go through him here. But yeah, my opponent is just getting every bit of value out of each event and each card possible here. Doing a really good job with Jarmoon. Just making it impossible for me to directly hit Savara. Okay, finally I'm getting Grognek involved again. This is my last bit of units left here. I guess we're getting down to the end game. Shonk scoring 4 damage on Jarmoon. Man, Shonk really putting some damage in this game. It's just so much value for a 5-cost unit sometimes. And of course, well, Jarmoon, you could say the same for. Look at all this damage he's getting. That hurts 3 for 3. Yeah, really wiping out my units. That was pretty devastating. I think here I was really hoping to have drawn Ragnar, but instead I drew Targan. Ragnar ending up being my last card, which really sucks. I really like Ragnar in this fight to kind of keep the fight up close. I mean, Targan is really great range, but I mean, if she's got to be up in the fight, she's not so great. But let's see what we can make happen with her here. Okay, I came up with a pretty clever idea here. I'm going to use Primal Fury to kill Jarmoon with my summoner and then just run away. And I can't really keep Grognek. I can't really attack with Grognek twice on one of those units because I know for sure he's got like an Ice Ram Glacial Shift, and like I was thinking he might just trap me and there's no way out. So I kind of just had to put Grognek back to safety. Alright, now I gotta get this kill on this Ice Golem, very important. And he's left with just 1 HP. Well, Frenzy could do it though. Nope, don't get it. Yeah, I knew if the Ice Golem was left alive, it could become a problem here, because he's got the Ice Ram on deck, and if the Ice Golem had died, I was thinking like, yeah, he's probably done for. But with him being alive, he's got some tricks he can do here. All right, let's see what he does. Traps my champion. Kind of goes for a kill on my fighter. Yeah, pretty devastating turn there. Really locking me out of the fight here. All right, so now we're getting to the end game. I'm just gonna let most of this play out here. I think my idea now is just let's get Targan as far away as possible. Get Targan in her best range, in her sweet spot. Yeah, he tried to get the kill there, totally missed. So that was pretty bad for him, not getting that Targan kill. Of course, if he killed Targan, I think I lose the game. Yeah, Targan getting a 4 out of 4 kill there. That was hugely devastating. So I feel like now I'm just trying to get enough magic for Ragnar. I think if I just get one more kill, I can have Ragnar. So yeah, get the gate, build some magic. Ragnar's ready. Oh, he misses the kill on Targan again. That was pretty important too. Alright, we're gonna start sandwiching Savara. Make sure there's no escape. Yeah, my summoner's getting dangerously close to death. Get my champions in there for the kill, hopefully. And that's it. Savara's dead. So yeah, really nice match with a close finish, and I feel like I really only came back in the end there because of a couple good kills from Targan. And yeah, I thought that this was one of the kind of the pivotal matches of the tournament, I felt. So stay tuned next time where I'll go over the finals, grand finals match. And thanks again for watching.